Okay, this is going to be chapter 13, preparing our payroll records. Now, what we've done chapters 10, 11, 12 is we've taken all of our transactions for our business, we've put those in our journals, our 5 different journals that we have, and then we also took from the journals and we posted those to the individual ledger accounts. So, what this chapter is about is paying our employees. In a partnership, again, it's probably going to be a bigger business. We're going to have other people working for us, such as sales clerks, stock people, delivery drivers, possibly cleaning people, you name it. So we're going to have multiple employees that we need to pay. So this is what this chapter is all about. To go over some terms here, when we talk about salary, that's basically what you pay your employee. For example, if someone makes $50,000 a year, that's their salary. That's what the company is paying them per year, plus whatever other benefits that come along with that job. You might be making $10 an hour. That's your salary. So when we talk about salary, this is what you pay your employees. Our pay period, usually a pay period is a period in which you agree to pay your employees. That could mean 1 week, that could mean 2 weeks, that could mean by the month. For example, Whirlpool, I have friends that work there, they are paid by the month, so they get 12 checks a year. Here at Waterville Elite, we get paid, as teachers, we get paid every 2 weeks, so we're bi-monthly. Some of you might even work and get paid weekly. So that is the pay period. Payroll is the total amount of all your employees. So when we talk about, well, we have to pay payroll, that's the, all of your employees, what you owe them as a sum. And total earnings, this is for the employee, the person that works for you. The total earnings is after deductions what we actually owe them. And what happens is if you work, let's say 40 hours a week at $10 an hour, that's $400. Well, that's your salary. However, your earnings are going to be less than that because we have to take out for federal taxes, state taxes, Medicare, and FICA. So we're going to learn about a little bit about that as well. So the total earnings is actually what you cut the check for. So you wouldn't cut it for the salary amount of $400, $10 at 40 hours. You would cut them the check for the amount of earnings that they actually got after deductions, after deductions. So here's kind of what a time card might look like. Some of you have filled these out, or maybe you punch in at work. You have an in time and out time. The reason for this is because there's lunch. So this person has taken an hour off for lunch, 12 to 5 in the afternoon. So they have a total of 8 hours. And we're going to talk a little bit about this too. So we're going to work with Omni imports. This is the employee number. Each employee has a number just to make it simplified. There's a name on it. We usually sort these alphabetically, but actually it's sorted by employee number. And the pay period ended. So if our pay period ended, usually a pay period ends the week before you get your check. Pay period isn't going to end the Friday that you receive your money. And so just kind of think of it in those terms. Here's another example of a time card, but you see that they're calculating the hours. Okay. Now notice one thing, we have overtime, and anything over 40 hours is going to be considered overtime. And normally, and for this purpose, overtime is paid at time and a half. So if you're making $10 an hour, for those overtime hours right here, 2.5 hours of overtime, you get paid $15 an hour. So we're going to have to calculate that as well. So notice on this timesheet, 88 total hours. This is for 2 weeks worth of work. 4.5 hours of overtime equals this total many hours for the 2 week span. That's the pay period. To calculate this, and we're going to do this in Excel, you have your total hours. He makes $12 an hour. So here is the salary, $1,056. He had 4.5 hours of overtime at time and a half, which is $18 an hour, for $81. Total hours, total earnings. Okay, this is his salary or total earnings for the 2 week pay period. Here's some other examples of some time cards that I printed off or put on here. They might be digital. You might punch in and out. That's what this is. You might write in your time cards. So each company is different, each business is different, and it just depends on what you want your time cards to look like. Usually if it's a by the minute, you can see here 54, 53, it's rounded up, okay? And then actually here's the hours worked. You can see that the minutes aren't calculated in the total hours. It's because they round up or round down. So we want to keep it even. We don't pay by the minute, we pay by the hour. Okay, so doing this is very simple. You're going to want to open up your file for this chapter. You're going to notice 4 tabs down here at the bottom, 13.1, 13.2, and you have 2 13.3s, Part A and Part B. This is going to take us pretty much through the entire chapter besides writing checks. So, time cards, 13.1. Part A, we have employee number 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is just a general worksheet here. Normally we would have name, and you'll see here's a time card here for Part B. So this person, employee 1, worked 40 hours. They had 6 hours of overtime. Here is their rate. This is their salary, what we pay them by the hour. This person makes $9.80. This person makes $12. This person makes $7. You're going to notice the regular hours. After 40, you have overtime, and that's paid at time and a half. So, this is the easy thing about this. This is how we're going to go so quick. To figure this out, we're going to use the equal sign to create a formula. We're going to take regular hours, times it by our rate, hit equals, or enter, $392. Now this person also worked 6 hours of overtime. So we're going to come here, we're going to put the formula equals the amount of overtime times the regular rate times 1.5. Again, time and a half. So we're taking the overtime times the regular rate times time and a half. It's going to equal it out for us automatically. To get our total earnings, we're just going to sum these two up. So we're going to go to auto sum and just select these 2 cells, the dollar amounts. We're going to hit enter. Notice that I've already formatted the cells for accounting purposes. I didn't put the formulas in because I want you to put the formulas in. Now here's the easy part. We're going to click this cell, come down here to where our mouse turns to the little crosshair, drag it down. It does it for us automatically. It's that simple. You notice this person has 0 here. Well, it's how to check your formula. They worked 0 hours of overtime. Finally go over to total earnings, add those up as well. So simple formulas that you can put in Excel that will make your job, if you were to do this at some point, and some of you will, make your job a lot easier just setting up a simple Excel spreadsheet and putting in the formulas. So if we had another employee, we could put, and actually I want you to do this, so employee number 5, this person worked 38 hours. Now, actually, if I run this formula down one more, it'll change it for us. And also, if you select both of them and run them down, I'll do all of them. So if I put 38 hours in here, that didn't work. Oh, because I don't have a rate in. So let's put this person's rate. Let's change the accounting. Again, I want you to do this. Let's make them, they're a manager. Let's put them at $22 an hour. Now you can see our total earnings here and what this person made. Okay, $22. If we change the rate to 10, the amount's going to change automatically. So I do want you to put this in, but let's keep it at $22. Make sure that you save this at this time. We're going to go right to Part B. It's the same thing, except we're looking at actual time cards. So this was just developing the formulas. This is now looking at the time cards for each employee. We have 3 time cards here. We have one for Marie Kearns. We have one for Henry Miller. You notice the employee number at the top. And we have one for Sylvia Rodriguez, employee number 16. Each one has the period ending of April 15th, and you're going to pay everybody the same date. That makes your accounting that much easier. Now you notice that these all say 8 to 12, 1 to 5, so that they're not getting paid for that hour-long lunch in the afternoon. And this might say, 7:58, 8:02. Sometimes they're a couple minutes late. So this might not be always 8 to 12, 1 to 5. Notice in the overtime column we have they came in 7 to 8, worked an hour of overtime. So here's how we're going to do this. And I'm going to do Marie Kern's for you. And then you're going to do Henry Miller's and Sylvia Rodriguez's. So I'm going to set the formulas up just to kind of reiterate the part A up here. So set up a formula. We're just going to add the hours. So we're going to put 8 hours. Now I can see looking at our time card, and we don't want to get this wrong because we don't want to overpay an employee. And it's money out of our pocket. But we also don't want to underpay our employees and get it wrong. So let's run the 8 down. Let's copy and paste the cells. Control C, Control V, paste those right in there. Overtime we have 1 hour. Here we have an hour and a half. So we're going to use 1.5, not 1.3. And right here we have an hour and a half of overtime as well. Okay, so you're going to want to add these up. They all don't say 8 to 12, 1 to 5, I don't believe. Yeah, they do. So it's going to be a little bit easy for you on the next two things that you do. But let's go down here to add up what we need to add up. This is going to be total hours. So we need to add up all of these, and we can sum this. So let's go ahead and auto sum, but we're going to choose these cells here. We hit enter. So 80 hours. Here's her rate. She makes $11.80. Henry makes $9.80. Sylvia makes $9.20. Now you might be able to even, or if you could even copy and paste these formulas into the other timesheets. Overtime, she had 1 plus 3 is 4 hours of overtime. Total hours is 84. Actually, we can sum this up too just to make it easier. Select those two cells, or we can put 84. Overtime rate is equals, remember it's time and a half, so equals your regular rate times number of overtime hours times 1.5. Hit enter. That's actually not right. I did that wrong. So this should be equals, sorry, this times 1.5. Not ready to calculate the hours. So for overtime, they make $17.70 an hour, or this person does. All right. Again, if you want, you can pause it. Here's the formula. You could even just type that in. So we're going to calculate how many hours or how much they made at $11.80. That's real simple. Equals this times this. So $944. Again, if these cells are not formatted with accounting, make sure that they do. You don't want a number that just says 944. Okay. We want it to be an accounting number. Same formula. Equals this times this. We hit enter. Total earnings is just sum that up. Hit enter. And here it is. So we owe this person $1,014.80. Now we're not going to write a check for this amount. Okay, we have to take our deductions out, our federal, state taxes, FICA, Medicare, and any other things that need to be deducted. So this won't be the amount of the check, but we need to know how much they made. Okay, I want you to do the same formulas down here for Henry Miller and Sylvia Rodriguez. When you're done, make sure you save this. The next video is going to go through this payroll tax withholding, which is withholding those taxes. So go ahead and hit stop here and finish this up at this time.